Hey everyone, D here. I'm going to be making a video on our current holdings. So as you know, we have three holdings, three major holdings. One of them is ADGO, USEI, also TXTM, and IND if you're holding that. Now, unfortunately, like I said before, I could not buy IND on my TD. So what I have to do is actually buy ADGO. That 15 million that I put in like 2 or 3 days ago, that was supposed to be for IND, but you know, I can't do that. So the next best thing, ADGO. And it's looking like things are heating up for this stock right here. So I'm going to be doing this analysis, and I'll be doing one at the end of the week to see how it all played out. But this is looking actually pretty good. Here's why for USEI right here, okay? So I'm not too sure if you see this, but the Bollinger Band is actually getting tighter and tighter and tighter. It's never squeezed this hard before, and usually when stocks end up squeezing like this, the move is really, really high. So what I can show you is, like say for example, this one over here, right? As it's squeezing, now it's not squeezing as hard, so the move up was big, but the tighter it squeezes, the bigger the pop is going to be. So I have a lot of hopes for USEI right here. I know a lot of whales are in here as well, and this is definitely the bottom. Now all we need here is that it just stay above 16. That'd be great. But what it's saying is that it can either bounce from 18, 14, and just keep going like this until, well, for example, if it just keeps hitting 14, then the Bollinger Band would just come a little bit lower and it'll start to come down. But if it keeps hitting 18, then the Bollinger Band will slowly start contracting up and it'll start moving higher up. So this over here is just, it's ready for a pop. So the fundamental part about this stock is that, well, they have some sort of deal going on. I'm not too sure what the deal is. They do have a non-disclosure. All right, so we don't actually know too much about it, but we know that they have a deal going on, and if they tweet about it, well, this stock is going to probably pump. Another thing that's really good is that this is on the daily chart. On top of the squeezing, this line right here is the downtrend that it broke out of, and that's why I decided to, hey, send the alert for USEI right here, just because, well, it broke out of the downtrend, so it's confirmed it's not in a downtrend anymore, right? Downtrend, and it just walks right out, right? So right now it's on top of the 200-day moving average, which is really good. On top of that, you have, if you zoom in here, you can see that as it's selling off and as it's accumulating here, the buying momentum is actually picking up and the strength is actually picking up either. So you got a low here and another low, but this is a slightly lower low, but you have convergence, and then we got a low, we got another low, but you got divergence right here. So this is telling you that, hey, this is actually, if it goes, it's gonna go. So the thing about this is that it does operate on, three different sectors: cryptocurrency, cannabis, and also clean energy. So those are pretty big markets, so that's why I'm pretty bullish on this. Now the thing is, if it breaks above 50, like this would be last resistance right here, but this can definitely go above a cent or even 2 cents. It really depends on how big this deal is. So anytime there's news on that or a tweet, I'll just send it out in the chat, so you guys don't miss out on it. But I am planning to load up big on USEI. I already have a like a decent sized position in there, but I'm just waiting for more funds to clear from my other stocks so I can put it in here, and then we're gonna have a great time with this one. This one I think will be the one that, yeah, TXTM is gonna be great, ADGO is gonna be great. I think this one's gonna be the craziest one that we're gonna be holding, but that's just speculation on my part. But do your own due diligence. I'll link some stuff in the chat as well, so feel free to check that out before you buy any more, by the way. Okay, all right, so this is USEI right here. So another thing that really caught my eye is that also on the weekly chart. Okay, so I'm also looking at the weekly chart, but what we can see here is first that you got a downtrend, right? It stopped about right here. As you can see right here, you see how this is like more pink. This is more like, like darker pink. So this over here is just saying that there was selling momentum, but there's a lot more green than there was red. So that's why it turned into the pink. You can slightly see here, right? Your solid green, lighter green, solid green, lighter green. And this is pretty much tell you that. But this doji indicates that, well, after the downtrend, this halts it. And usually people wait for the confirmation. This was the confirmation right here. Okay, so the reason why it's not looking any better is because, well, it's only moving a few ticks, right? 15, 16, and 17. That's it, right? So again, this is the week, so it's just Monday. So what we can possibly see here is just a little touch here and then move back up. But usually after a doji, this is confirmation. This is when people will start buying it. So the thing about this one as well, If I pull up the level 2, actually, you can see that USEI right here, well, as you can see, there's a 57 million bid at 15, but on 16 there's only 7. So many times this has been taken out, but with this big wick that went all the way up, I think this is actually going to be taken out very easily, because no one wants to sell it well, at 14. Everyone wants to buy it at 15 because that is the sweet spot. But then 16 is also good as well. So I did buy my, handful of shares at 16, and CETO's the only one stopping us, right? But this can definitely go a lot higher. So based on this wick, the next target would be on 23, and then 33, 47, 58, and that's pretty much it. But on the weekly chart, you can see it's a little bit different. It looks like the target for this is, weekly chart is a lot stronger, so I'm going to say it's 45. All right, and then for this one over here, I'm going to say it's 30. Yeah, usually round numbers are the case. Yeah, maybe it's right here at 30. I'm just going to go like this. This is just based on the weekly, okay? So, and this over here, looking like this stop right here. It's looking like it's a... looking like it's a 50. People do like rounded numbers, so maybe that's the case here. But the last point is 80, and then if it passes 80, it's going to keep going. But on the weekly chart, it's looking like it's about to reverse right here. So, when we see this, don't even worry. If it goes back to 14, that's great, because you can buy more at 15. But if it goes to the 14, it is on the 50-day moving average, which is really strong support as well. Okay, so that is USEI right here on the daily and the weekly. Okay, so now TXTM. Everyone loves TXTM, right? So as for TXTM, what we see here is that, well, it's been like this for a very long time. Why is that, right? So the rumors are that the CEO has filings coming, and then what we can see is, let me just get the level 2 right here, and then we can see everyone's starting to buy at 17. So as you know, right, we bought a bunch here, but then I've loaded up super heavy at 14, because you can clearly see every time it comes back down, right, RSI is getting stronger and stronger. Not a lot of selling. So this over here, I think this is going to be the last straw, because filings are close. Deadline is on the 30th, so they have 1 week, and I don't think they're going to screw this up, because they own a lot of stuff. So that being said, I can easily see this going, back to 1819, and then after 1819, there is no resistance. Well, maybe people would take profits here, maybe take a profits at 50s, but then honestly, the actual resistance would be at, last point at 80. So, if it goes from, where we bought it to 50, 80, around there, we'll still be happy. And then what I'm going to do is put this right back into USEI. So, what we got here is right now it's on the 17th. So if we close like this, it's very bullish, because why? Right now you're getting an uptrend right now with momentum increasing, volume increasing, MACD, it's getting stronger. And if you go from, this selling to doji to hammer, doji, hammer, even higher, and then you're above the 100-day moving average, Bollinger Bands have been contracting for a very long time, right? So this can possibly move up very soon. Most likely, I'm assuming this week, we should see some action on the move up. So, hurry it up, because I'd like to put this into USEI. Anyways, that's it for here. But also on the weekly chart, not too bad, right? Usually you get like a, sell-off candle. You get one of these, right? Followed by, hey, like lighter pink, right? With buying volume. And this indicates that, hey, it could also reverse. If you close it as a hammer, that'd be great. But what we're waiting for is that, well, say, for example, by the end of the 25th, it closes above 20, then we can look to see next week this can just moonshot, okay? So moonshot, it would be pretty possible, just because, well, we're already on Monday. This is the starting candle, but we already have that much volume. That's pretty insane, and it's already making such a bullish pattern. So this over here can be something gigantic, but so good thing to hold tight here, just because, well, market makers are just tricking a bunch of people to sell it. But then when the CEO drops filings, this is going to be nuts. All right, so that is the daily and the weekly for TXTM. Now, last thing is ADGO. It's right over here. So as for ADGO, we know we added some right here. A lot of people are averaging down. Okay, so the reason for this, okay, they're actually diluting shares. So they actually diluted around I think like 1 billion shares or so, but they didn't announce anything of it. But I believe they stopped, because I was actually keeping my eye on the amount of shares for the longest time, and they actually stopped. The last reporting they did was on the 18th, and then it didn't show any signs of more dilution. But we'll see when it comes out again. I'll double check. But so what I found out was that, let me look at here, ADGO. So what I found out that you know, all these like bought sells, these bought sells over here, right? These are bought buys as well. But there's a lot of bought sells just like this, all right, and it's actually them diluting. So you know, them selling all of it at super low prices, but for some reason it's picking back up again, just because, well, IND is going to, you know, we all know IND is going to go up, all right, due to the filings. You only had like 2 more filings, plus, you know, plus you got those, you know, the turning letter pink to look forward to. It can actually be very good for IND. So it's looking like, you know, try to do its thing. It looks like a cup and handle maybe. You know, not a lot of buying anymore, but we'll see what happens. Buy zones over here, load up heavy right here if you want to, if it even comes down, right? But this is starting to look like it's building some strength. So this just has to either close like higher, it just has to be above 2 cents, and then you know, everyone would love it again. But the fact that it's below 2 cents, it's using it as a resistance, it's kind of risky. It might come back down here for a double bottom, who knows. But it could, just because I see this big rejection wick or this big pump back down. We could see it, but you know, if you're already in it, it's okay. I mean, just hold it. If it comes back down here, that's fine. That's your treat to buy more. But as for this, we all know where this is gonna go, and if this goes, this usually goes with it. Also, as you can see, coming back down right here, you got a low, right? Lower low, right? Same levels of strength, right? Convergence, that means a reversal is going to happen. But as it's coming down, you can see the momentum actually building up. So we might see more and more of this later on. So if it closes at 7, then it would be a good sign. But here's a cool part. You look at the weekly chart, okay? So this is the weekly. All right, big sell off for weeks, okay? Did a doji right here 2 weeks ago, and then last week ended off as a green hammer. Okay, you can see that this closed higher with slightly, you know, almost the same amount, but the green actually won, and we're looking like, yeah, it's looking like that it could either double hammer here, which could end up as a reversal, or you know, this week there's still a lot of time. There has been a lot of buying for some odd reason. I'm assuming it's just because like people want to get in to, you know, IND, or they can't get into it, they get into ADGO, or they see ADGO as a better, you know, risk to reward situation for them. But what we can see here is that, well, you know, again, it's Monday, you already have a good amount of volume. We'll see if this is a confirmed reversal, because usually you wait for the doji, you wait for the hammer or a green candle, and then that's what your confirmation to buy. You wait for it to come back down, dip, buy it, and then it goes up. So maybe people are buying it down here. I'm not actually too sure how, you know, people would want to do this, but it's looking bullish on the weekly now. Before it wasn't, but now it is. Also on the daily, it's just hugging the bottom of the Bollinger Band. Super tight contraction. It can definitely pop up anytime as well. With the momentum going up, this is what's telling me that it might just go up from here. Also, on top of that, IND as well. Alright, so that pretty much sums up my video. Hopefully you enjoyed this. So I'll make another one maybe Wednesday or Friday, whatever you guys like. And then we'll just have a good week this this time, right? So this week, look forward to it. Next week, deadline is on the 30th, so we should see a bunch of stocks pop. And then after that, I already have some plays lined up for stocks that are already pink, so we're not waiting for a filing. All right, so we're just waiting for some catalyst. So USEI is one of them. USEI is already pink. We're not waiting for pink current. All right, it's already pink current, but we're waiting on the catalyst news, and that's where I tend to. That's where I'm planning to put all the gains that I have into the next stock, and that next stock is gonna be pretty juicy. So I highly encourage you to do your own due diligence with USEI before you start buying more. But I am planning to buy a lot more. All right.